How y'all doing this evening? My name is Broderick Javon King, and this is pretty much I.A.M podcast, where we talk about real social issues. We talk about everything that's affecting our community and what we need to do better. So, without further ado, I can't do all of this by myself. So, I would like to introduce my beautiful co-host, Miss Jaquise.
Hey.
And this is a part of the company that I started. FROGDAYZ is actually one of the things that I take passion in. I take pride in. We have Big Brother Step programs. We have the I.A.M gaming. My son, which is here in the room with me as well, he took everything to PlayStation. I have everything on Xbox. So the whole pull up and sip is pretty much getting reacclimated with our friends, with people that we know have our backs. So today we will be talking about issues that affect us. So, Miss Reese.
Hey.
How you doing, honey?
I'm wonderful. Only if my hips could fit in this chair. You know? I guess I should have tried it out first, right?
Yeah, we should have did that. We should have thought better about that one.
But it's all right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for pulling up and having a sip. So, Miss Reese, what's next?
Well, we've got a lot next. We're going to be talking about a lot of different subjects. Anything that's on my mind, your mind, other people's minds, we're just going to talk about it. It's a lot that we're holding in, things that we might say you thought about it, but you didn't say it. Yeah. So we're just kind of trying to bring out the positive vibes out of people and create a good,
good chemistry. Good chemistry. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. And what I want to say is this to people that don't know. We've been friends for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And I respect you. And it caught me by surprise that when I sent the beat out to everybody, that you were the first person to actually say, I want to be a part of what you're doing. Mm. Now, this is real. This is a real thing. This is what we're doing. And I just want to say thank you. First and foremost, I want to say thank you.
Hey, no problem.
As far as how we're going to do this from here leading forward, I'm coming at it with a different energy at this point because as far as, we're going to get into the subject of community and culture.
Okay.
I personally don't feel like we actually have a culture. I think it's community. And I think it's truly based on how people can come up and how the downside of it is. And I think that we're so easily put down by our own, but then when it happens on one end, it's okay. But when you're trying to do something, it's completely shunned on.
Right.
So my whole thing is especially with this right here, is letting people know. Because it's going to be me and you. Definitely. As far as co-hosting and hosting and everything. Right. And let me say this. You're dapper as hell right now. So we're
okay.
You're dapper as hell.
Well, thank you. You look pretty fly yourself.
Yes, ma'am. So let's get into this topic of conversation. The first thing that I want to talk about is how do you feel about the country potentially being shut down again?
It saddens me. I think this pandemic has been one of the most biggest eye-openers for everyone. Things have started to change. We've learned to appreciate things a little bit more. I think that if it shuts down again, I honestly feel like there'll be more problems again.
Yeah.
The jobs have been affected.
Yeah.
Our livelihoods. A lot has been affected in a negative way.
Yeah.
And I don't want us to go backwards, which I hope that we don't. I hope it doesn't shut down again. But if so, then we need to be mentally
prepared for it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. One of the things that deeply affected me was last year when COVID hit. Mm-hmm. I was an essential worker.
Yeah.
So, I was working for FedEx and everything. And when Tennessee got shut down, because Tennessee hit, pretty much the way that they mapped it out was like Tennessee got hit before Alabama. But there were cases in Alabama that they couldn't report because they didn't care.
Right.
You know, I think the numbers spiked when everybody went back through and looked at it. You know what I'm saying? But I was working for FedEx at the time. I was doing unloads. You know, trucks come in, you take the packages out, and then I started driving. I was affected by it because I was delivering to people that actually had signs on their door like leave it at the corner, but I didn't know it because the whole family was sick.
Wow.
But I also have information right now by a nurse that came in to my job, and she said that the country's probably more than likely going to be shut down again. And it's going to affect everybody because at this point, you know, KIV has, or even the government has stopped unemployment, or at least what people being paid, is going to affect everybody's social income or whatever they're doing or trying to do. It's going to stop.
Yeah.
We're gonna. It's already a pandemic, but I think it's going to lead into a depression again. And I think that
It will.
I think that people are going to be deeply, deeply hurt by this. Because people didn't know how to act the first time. I mean, shit, you think about it. Hell, you got people running to Walmart buying up toilet tissue, but hell, you ain't got no money to pay no damn bill, so how you going to flush?
Right. Yeah, all the toilet tissue was taken up. I couldn't even get toilet tissue or paper towels. I had to go from store to store to store to store to store until I finally found some. So.
And it wasn't even the quad toilet tissue. It was single.
Right.
It was some bullshit. What is it? Walmart Equate brand toilet tissue. That shit was terrible.
Oh, or Dollar General brand.
And that shit was terrible.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question. You know, I started, you know, what's next? You know, as far as, which was a broad question, but what's next for you? Like, what do you want to do next? Like, what are your what is your dreams and your passions? Like, what do you want to do?
Wow. I've got a great passion for not only helping others, but help others build up. So right now I manage a major, you know, food restaurant.
Yeah.
So, and I'm always striving to help those who need that kickstart. You know, I've hired a lot of ex-felons, people getting fresh out of prison, jail, but they've made a start and a change.
Yeah.
So it makes a difference. But I want to own my own business. I prefer to own my own restaurant chain and also host as well.
Yeah.
I just have a passion for not only getting the word out, but kind of live by that word. You know, it's one thing you can say something, but it's another thing if you don't act on it.
Yeah.
So.
And that's pretty much how this whole thing came into action, because I don't, you know, once you speak on something, you know, I'm not a prideful person. I was back in the day. You know me better than anybody. You know, pride got in my way a lot of times, but I stepped over my pride and I stood on my word.
Right.
And, you know, I have my own thing going too, you know, as far as Big Brother Step. And I have students that I actually counsel.
Right.
Now, I call them kids, but they're actually growing up. They're in their 20s now. But for them, you know, being a youth, you know, you can always get in trouble and, you know, you'll be sent one way in one direction. But what I learned was even when I worked in the juvenile detention side of it, what I started to realize was that these kids were one way. And then they come here and it's still one way, which is being reacclimated to gang life, gang culture, you know, the whole thing. When they leave, they go back and they do the same thing because there's no different start for them. So I started my own shit as far as Big Brother Step, because it's like, listen, stop, nigga.
Right.
Like just fucking stop. Like you're going to jail. When you go to jail, there is no bond, especially if you kill somebody, especially if you caught in a traffic stop, especially if they have information.
Right.
So stop. Now, my next topic is pretty much asking you, How do you feel about our culture at this standpoint? Because we got a lot going on within the African American community. You know, we have the violence, we have homosexuality, heterosexual shit going on.
Mm-hmm.
How do we actually what the fuck is going on? Is the question. Like what the fuck is going on? Because
I don't know what the fuck is going on, but it's something serious.
I'm not hip to this shit. Like I don't fuck with it. I don't want to bash nobody. And I don't want to put people out on the forefront. But I don't fuck with it. Because as far as how I stand.
Right.
It's in movies. It's in cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
It's in music.
Yeah.
It is something that has been socialized for decades.
Right.
Like we had it on our end, but we didn't realize, we didn't pick up on it. But now our kids are watching this and it's here. So how do you feel about that?
Oh, it's tough. Social media and the media and social media, it's a great influence, but is it really positive sometimes? You know, a lot of times the kids may hear, you know, ooh, this or ooh, that. That's not helpful, you know, because guess what? That same kid is going to go outside and, you know, hey, ooh, this and the same thing. It's not going to build good character with some of the stuff that's out right now. It's not going to empower the children.
It's not empowerment at all. It's pretty much a distraction. Mm-hmm. And I think what we're getting away from is actually having that time with our children and saying, listen, this is what I want for you. Right. I'm not telling you this is what you got to do, but this is what I want and this is what I envision for the future. Right. And with any lesson that I teach, I can pass it on to you, and you can pass it on to, because I'm not going to be here forever. Right. Me either. I had to come to that realization. Like you don't live forever.
Mm-hmm. Although you want to.
Exactly. I would love to be a superhero, catch flight around this motherfucker, but I can't do it. But what I want for my kids, even when they were coming up, I always told them, I want better for you. I want you to think better. Yes. And the way that this music is going, not even as far as like the homophobic shit, but we got to look at it on a different aspect, because now you got kids grabbing guns and killing each other because somebody said that they would do it. Mm-hmm. And that's bullshit. Right. Because the majority of the African American community's money is coming out of the pockets of the actual grown adults to pay for these cases. Yeah. So we're in limbo. Yep. And these kids are walking through jail cells. They're being transported to courtrooms where they're being judged, not even off the crime that they did, but they're being judged off of their color.
Most definitely.
But they're being judged off their color because of what they hear from us. Mm-hmm. So we got to change. It has to be a certain change. Right.
Yep. We need to make a change, but it's up to us. Mm-hmm. You know how they say closed mouths don't get fed. If you don't say anything, you're already doomed from the start. Yeah. It's like you're not even trying to make a difference, but it's easy for us to talk about, hey, this needs to change. But, our kids, we always talk about the kids are our future. But if we're so concerned about the future, then we need to be more concerned about what our kids are listening to, the things that they're doing, people they're around, places they're going. Mm-hmm. It's dangerous out here. Yeah. It's like us killing each other. 1 minute we're cool, the next minute we're on the news.
Exactly.
It's sad.
It's very sad. I mean, you got to think about it. We went, and for a while it was police killings that led up. It was police killings that led up. It was police killings that led up. And we tried to march. Mm-hmm. And what happened next was COVID. Right. And I spoke on it. I said it. I said, as soon as COVID is done, I promise you the first black man walking the street, he going to get his ass killed. And it happened with George Floyd.
Oh, that's so sad.
I said it. I like I said, I've been essential for years. Mm-hmm. But during this time when COVID hit, I actually saw a pattern going on. I actually saw it. Mm-hmm. And my problem is that I felt like nobody else saw it. Right. So, I lashed out on social media, on Facebook. I talked about it. But The one thing that actually disturbed me was when the whole riots at the Capitol building happened. And you go back and you look at the footage of how they let people do this, but I can't drive up the road to the gas station without being pulled over for being black. Like I'm doing something wrong.
Right.
We're here clean as fuck.
Right.
If I leave from here right now and a cop stops me, what the fuck did I do wrong?
It's your color.
It's color. It's the pigment. So
racial profiling.
My question to you is, do you think this will continue to happen with our culture, like, or our community? Because we're going to get to that culture and community thing. So as far as African Americans, because I don't like the word black, because the word black is derogatory to me.
Okay.
Because the definition of black is negative. It's a void space. It's evil. But white is, due to Webster, says that that's purity. But if the killings are behind white people and black people are dying, but black people do no wrong, how is this even justified? So my question to you is, do you think that we'll actually come together? Do you think that it will actually stop? We haven't heard about it in a while because of everything else that's going on. So my question to you is directly just that. Do you think it's going to stop? Or do we actually maybe need to move forward on another plan?
I mean, racism's been around for a long time now. I would hope that it would stop, but we have to face reality. It's here. You know, we can, try our best to make a difference, but that's something that occurred before our time. All we can do is just try to make sure that we, hold close to our loved ones and, educate them on what's going on out here so they'll be prepared. Just in case little Billy decides to say, "Hey, what up? What?"
Yeah,
we need to have the correct
something pops
reaction.
up. Yeah, exactly. Because it's going to happen. It's going to happen because throughout social media, they've always thrown us these images or these audio and video feeds of Karens, people just snapping. But I want to dive into religion as well, because it's like when you see these people doing something, you know what I mean? Like you see them doing something, it's almost like they possessed by something. And I don't know if it's privilege or if the inner workings of something is going on, because a lot of times these people, I've watched a lot of footage on people that you look at what they did and what happened, and then when they get to court, they just like, I don't know what the fuck I was doing. So I don't know, but what I can say, and I feel just the same way that you feel, is that I don't think that it's gonna stop.
Yeah, me.
I think that my son one day will be stopped, and when they ask him to get out of the car, they're gonna be intimidated. I don't think that they're fearful of black people. I think that they're intimidated.
Oh, most definitely.
Because we can be the most compliant motherfuckers in the world, but when you actually step out of your car and they see who you are, and they know that they're on some felonious shit, then the next thing you know, guns are drawn. And it's only one or two ways it's going to go.
Right.
And the one or two ways it's going to go is you going to jail, paying hefty court fines. You better have a good lawyer. You miss time from your family, whatever you own. Or the other, your family's actually paying for you to be buried. And I think that's why I say I don't think we have a culture. It's a community of people that can get killed at any random time.
Right.
Because if we were truly together, then this would have stopped years ago.
Right, but we need to come together more.
Yeah.
That's the problem, People don't want to do it. They think it's no big deal until it affects them.
Yeah, them directly.
And then, now it's a big deal. Yeah.
So let me ask you this question. Have you ever been affected by racism?
Ooh, yeah. Hey, I didn't say Billy for no reason. Shoot. Elementary school, little Billy on the playground decided, hey, he wanted to get on the monkey bars, and we were on the monkey bars, and he figured, hey, Ian, You need to get off the monkey bar. What? Well, my mom raised me right, but I told Billy a piece of my mind in some elementary language.
Yeah, that playground cuss out.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah, that's
Cheers. Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. So, we went over a broad spectrum of everything, but let's keep going. So let's talk about another thing that really affects our community / culture. And I'm gonna ask you this question.
Okay.
What is it truly like being a woman? Like, what do you go through? What is your daily struggle? And then I want you to ask me that question. So we're gonna dive in, okay? So, what is it like? Like, what obstacles and what do you face?
Well, it's tough as a woman. Like it's more like stereotype man world, business man, sales man. You hear a lot of that, and it's harder for the woman to kind of shine through sometimes, depending on the career, no matter what job you're at. It's always competition.
Yeah.
Competition is there. It's competitive, but it's always seems like it's a man that wants to compete. So it's tough. Just from waking up in the morning, trying to get ready for your full day, the things that we go through, the things that we do to try to keep ourselves up so that we can just shine bright again in the midst of
all this confusion.
Yeah. So it's kind of tough, but that's why we talk a lot about strong Black women or strong women. It doesn't have to be. It just doesn't matter who you are, what color you are, what job you have, what you're doing. It's the same problems. We all got problems. We all got things that we go through. We're trying to overcome. So I can say it's tough being a woman, but hey, we're already built strong.
Yeah,
we're built tough.
Make it right.
Yeah. So how does it feel to be a man? Like, how tough is it to, wake up and in shoes?
I'm gonna tell you right now, it's rough. It's for me personally. I pretty much how I started out was I was by myself. You know what I'm saying? And I had 3 beautiful children that I woke up to, and I said to myself, all this clubbing shit is done, all this partying shit is done. Let me. Because I had a stepfather. My father wasn't around at all.
Right, mine's either.
So I had, as a man, and I had the most perfect man in my life outside of my brothers that were tough on me. Go to school, go do this, go do that. But it was all positive direction. So when I, met my wife now, before we were married, I had my beautiful kids there. And I said I would never step on them. And I would never step out of their lives. And I never did. So for me, personally, just stepping over pride and standing on your word.
Right.
That's my motto. Because being a man is tough. It's hard as fuck because we don't truly show emotion. Right. And we don't express anything. Right. We're like an empty void, like a shadow. Like we come in, the first thing we want to do is hop on a game. Or we come in on the phone, like laughing, joking, whatever, but that's our release. But what we do is we neglect.
Right.
We forget that when we come home, it needs to be this way, not that way.
Right.
So as a man, I've done it. I've done it several times, but I'm a man. I can stand on my shit because I know I did it. Right. But at the time, I need a woman to understand that.
Right.
That sometimes I don't want to talk. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But being a man is tough because it's a lot of responsibilities because you have to look at past relationships that your mom had and you try not to be like your father. You try to be better than him.
Right.
And the father is supposed to make you better than him.
Right.
But if you don't have any of that type of structure, it makes it difficult to actually obtain knowledge. It makes it harder for you to actually know what to do.
Right.
And to be there for somebody going through something. Because my hats off to y'all. Women, hats off, because y'all go through a lot.
Yeah.
The only thing that men have to do, honestly, is wake up, get dressed, and go. It's a different process. Mm-hmm. It's a different process. I saw that. You know, I did the video with Rain, and she was doing the hair and everything, you know, and I was just like, what in the hell? I was like, well, time to post something. Right. So I did. Mm-hmm. But you know, yeah, hats off to y'all, but it's difficult for us. It really is, because other than talking to our brothers, even then, sometimes they going through their stuff, so we don't know how to talk. We don't know how to communicate. Right. Because a son's first step is to talk to the father, not the mother. The mother pulls the information out. The father is someone you can sit down and talk to. So if we don't have that type of infrastructure, then it's always going to come off as hostility. Right. Hence my life.
Hey, and shout out to all the mothers too.
Yeah, definitely.
I might not have kids yet, but that right there is tough. You know, I've seen a lot of family members, friends, you know, go through the struggle. So it's tough. You know, being a parent, period.
Yes, it's one of those things. But you know, even when I had my daughter, like I was there for birth. I was there after 2 days, all of that, all of the whole experience of it was beautiful to me. Right. And we had fun, like all the doctors, the nurses, people that would come in and check, you know, make sure. And I would just, you know, cradling my daughter and shit. Like it was beautiful. But even then it was a learning experience, and it humbled me. It made me sit down. Right. Even when I met my other 3 children, when I met them and I got to know them, it was something in my head was like, sit down. And I did. Stop partying. Right. Stop, you know, this, stop that. Take your ass to work, come home, make sure they straight. And if you want to do all that shit, then you can do it at home. Right. Yeah, it's a lot of things that we used to do that we don't want to do anymore. Yeah, don't even have a passion for it anymore. Comes with material. That's it. So let me ask you this. So we talked about relationships. We talked about the pandemic. I'm gonna go back to my first question, and we're gonna wrap it up. So I know that you're passionate about what you do, and you actually want to start your own. Right. And you want to have your own employees. You want to be in your own spot. Yeah, make a difference. What will it take to make that happen? A lot of hard work. A lot of hard work. Prayer. You got to show efforts. You got to get the training in. You got to learn the system. So, what it'll take, besides some good credit. Yeah. Besides that, credit is everything. My credit score is on Charlie Sheen right now. My shit is struggling. Do you get me? Man. I'm building blocks. My credit score is Magic Johnson and Charlie Sheen's white sale count right now combined together. That shit ain't worth a shit. My credit score is fucked up. Dang. Ooh, Virginia we're going to work on that. No, fuck that. Jesus couldn't fix that shit. He can fix it. He can fix it. Amen. Like what the Salt Bay? He'd be like, Hey. But you know what? No, we showed up and showed out, man. Yeah, I'm proud of this shit. Like I'm proud. Yeah. I thank you. Hey, this is my pleasure. You showed up and showed out. Mm-hmm. I really do like the chemistry. Now let me ask you this question: how do you feel about this whole experience? I love it. You know, it's different. Yeah. The atmosphere, the vibes. I love it.
and I'm all about just trying to get the message out, whether it's in a political way or just letting you know, like, hey, my hip's too big for the chair. Hey,
my bad.
Either
We'll
way.
figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Hey, but see what I was trying to do, like, because it's everything is budgeted. So I was just like, you know what? Just not a round table discussion, but just because you got to think next time it's going to be multiple people sitting here, and we got the multiple people. My son is right there.
Yeah.
Dre is here. My brother's here. Both of my other brothers are outside.
Yeah.
And so what I told them was, I have a beautiful lady coming, and y'all niggas better act right. So I can't control what you do in your home, but for this whole thing, act right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I've been knowing you for years.
Yeah.
For years. And so my whole thing is, I was so happy that you said that you want to be a part of it. So it may take me a couple of days to get back to you, but welcome to FROGDAYZ.
Hey.
You actually have a certificate coming. Dre has a certificate coming. Xavier has one coming.
Yes, sir.
And that's what it is. Like, this is a whole company. Like I said, we doing this for ourselves, and we're gonna post the content, and hopefully people will look at it. If they don't, fuck them.
Right.
That's how I feel. Like, fuck you. We're gonna do this every Sunday.
That's it.
After we finish up or whatever, I'm gonna show you my whole day, because I already had an interview before that.
Okay.
So.
And then
I've been working and grinding. I left in some shorts and showed up over here like, you feel
ready.
You feel me.
Okay.
You feel me.
Cheers to the good looks.
Yes, ma'am. So this has been I.A.M. Gaming, I.A.M. Podcast. This is my beautiful co-host, Miss Reese. I'm Broderick, and at this point, we're signing off. Y'all have a good night. I'll holler at you next episode. Bet.
Holla.